girl. How are you? It's a little bit hazy, but
It's beautiful, eh?
oh, no kidding.
Oh, there she goes over the fence.
Okay, I'm out on another day trip. This time with my buddy Blair. The last time we were on a trip, we checked out Hermitage and
Ruthven National Historic
site with the ghost town of Indiana, which I recommend you check out both. We're at the site of the former ghost town Tyrconnell. History of the place, it was originally established in 1809, so that was over 200 years ago. Started off with some grist mills, some churches, and then some commerce came in. It was prosperous at the time.
settled by Colonel Talbot.
Thank you. Settled by Colonel Talbot. That's an important tidbit right there.
It is.
Uh,
From Ireland.
what else? Yeah, it was on the verge of becoming a thriving place, but like a lot of ghost towns, especially Indiana, placement of the railway lines was the one thing that killed it. When they put the railway line in Port Stanley, this ghost town met the same fate as Indiana.
And Port Talbot's down that way.
Down that way?
Yeah.
Oh,
Port Talbot.
you said it's down that way.
Yeah, it's down that way. Colonel Talbot called it Port Talbot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only thing that's left of this ghost town, because it met the same fate as other ghost towns of the time, where it was just the placement of the tracks. They put it in Port Stanley, because if you think about it, it was probably the best spot for it, given the proximity of the lake and being a transportation hub.
And London, Ontario also.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it met the same fate as Indiana, Ontario, and a lot of other ghost towns along that were dependent with mass transit. The only thing that's left, like Blair said,
You want to go down?
no.
Let's
No.
go.
What was the name of the Anglican church?
St. Peter's.
St. Peter's, and then there's a cemetery just,
St. Peter's, Tyrconnell.
yeah, right over there. So that, as far as we know, it's the only,
Behind us.
yeah, it is behind us because right now we're just enjoying the scenery here.
Peacefulness.
Yeah, but overall, we'll check out the church and we'll check out the cemetery.
Church is cool.
Yeah, and then that's about it. Wave, Blair.
Hi.
All right, so this is some of the sites. Well, not very many sites, but this is Tyrconnell. That's the St. Peter's Church, built in 1827, Anglican church. And you said it's still in use, right?
Yeah.
That's impressive. I would have figured for a church this size, it would be like,
Look how well kept it is.
yeah, I would have figured it would have been in a pioneer cemetery. I mean, Pioneer Park. Jeez. All right, so we'll start with the plaque. Yeah, so St. Peter's Church. Yeah. Early Gothic Revival, architecture. Anglican church lies in the midst of the original Talbot settlement. The nave, was erected by the congregation in 1827. The belfry and tower added in 1845 to accommodate the bell. Donated by the Earl of Galloway, adhered to the original style in 1849. Bishop John Stratton consecrated the church, and 2 years later, Reverend James Stewart became the first resident priest of the parish. Charlotte Simcoe, daughter of the province's first lieutenant governor, gave St. Peter's a silver communion service in 1844. The nearby burying grounds contained the graves of some of the area's earliest settlers, that of Colonel Thomas Talbot, founder of the Talbot settlement. So, as you can see, I'm just backing away because I want the church sort of in view. Yeah, and that's just Blair right in there doing his thing. So it's a nice little church. It's still in use today. That's impressive to me because I would have figured this would have been in like a pioneer park like Fanshawe Pioneer Village, but no, it's still in use and it looks quite nice. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, there it is right there. It's a very small church, so I'm not exactly sure how many people would it seat. Maybe 30, maybe 50. It's hard to tell. You're probably right, just given the size of it. But it's well groomed, well manicured. And yeah, there's not much else I can say to it. It's a nice little church. So now that we're done checking out the church, we're gonna check out the cemetery. You were saying about the... Oh yeah, I could see that. Well, to be fair, it's only paved to a certain section. Otherwise, it's going to cost. Otherwise, it's going to cost the people living in this municipality a fair bit of coin just to get it paved.
And Colonel Talbot doesn't want that.
I think that's the least of his worries at this moment. Sure, let's go with that. So this is the cemetery right here, which is also part of the adjacent ghost town.
Well, no, it's still
Yeah.
Colonel.
You know what I'm trying to say.
No, I don't.
Okay.
What are you trying to say?
Lots of things. But no, it is an old cemetery. The plaque right here, because I think that's important to see the original plaque. St. Peter's Church Cemetery, 1825 to 1928. This entrance was erected by B.E. Sifton and J.W. Gilbert Sr. What is it?
It says take one. Aw, I need a home. Anybody who comes visits here.
Yeah, if you want to, go ahead. St. Peter's Church Cemetery, first burial was in 1825. So, technically, if we can't get through there, there is another way.
Oh, yeah, go around the fence.
I should more or less go through. But yeah. It's really hard to make it out, but there is a deer
look at that.
in that field.
Music note on this other side. I'm gonna hang this from my rear view mirror.
So
I need a home.
we'll have a quick look here.
I found a quilted perch.
There's an old building there.
Wow.
Yeah, so we'll have a quick look. Try not to stay out here too long. Catherine White. Yeah, so David Bobier. So a lot of family lots here. And like I said, sometimes with these old ghost towns, there's not too much left. So the fact that there was this beautiful church, this cemetery, it kind of, it's kind of okay in terms of checking it out. Trudell, Page. So this still looks like it's still active. I really like that setup. Yeah, so this is still an active burial ground. Yeah, this one's quite unique because it's got a sundial on it.
Oh, okay. That's cool. This one's kind of cool too.
So
It's Anna Isabel. She died in 1893.
when was he born?
Okay, Anna Isabel died October 2nd, 1938, aged
19 months.
19 months. Oh,
That's unfortunate.
my hurt. And Clarence and his wife, Mabel, one.
That's unfortunate.
That's,
I would have to say probably it was whatever.
that is so historic.
Yeah, whatever was. It was probably like a childhood disease or something.
Polio?
It's possible.
Polio.
It could be measles, could be polio.
Hey, wait a minute. That's Little John. Oh no, that's Little John.
Robinson. Here was probably one of the prominent people that's passed on. He died in World War I, very young. 53730, Lance Sergeant CEF Ellis Wellwood Sifton, 1891 to 1917. Yeah, so this gentleman fought in World War I. Yeah, so overall, this is kind of an impressive looking cemetery. I'm more impressed by the hill part. What do we have there, Blair?
1948. Was adopted by George Wells and Dorothy Tia, right? The way it's
Dorothea Gertrude
Dorothea
Smith,
Gertrude Smith.
who died George Nicholson Wells on.
Oh, give that end too soon. Oh,
No information whatsoever.
there's a rock.
Okay, so it doesn't give us any information, but no, this is the older part of the cemetery.
Oh yeah, you can tell by those tombstones right there. Those are 1800 tombstones.
Yeah, not only that, you could also just tell in general.
This one you can't even tell anymore.
Well, it's so degraded through time, it's really impossible. Thomas Moore, November 16th, 1914, 93 years. So he lived a very good life, or as good as it was able to be. But no, this is quite an impressive place, I'd say. Henry Coyne, who died 1852. His wife Anna, 1864. Yeah, so we're just about at the end of this cemetery. To my left, because I'm on my right hand side, there is what looks like to be a memorial plaque next to some of the stones. And this person that's buried here was a veteran in the War of 1812, as the style of the plaque to commemorate them. Yeah.
This is Don and Eliza Pierce.
Is that
Don Pierce.
is that the citizens?
Don Pierce. We were just at Provincial Park.
Oh, that's right.
Don Pierce. Don and Eliza Pierce.
So these would be the first people buried here.
They died in 1897.
45 years old.
45 years old. And Thomas Leslie, second son, John and Eliza Pierce, born. Wow.
Yeah.
God bless you all.
Yeah, so this is the part I wanted to check out, because I have a feeling, judging by the style of the graves, they're probably very prominent. It's hard to make out what's written.
There's a plaque right there.
But there is a memorial plaque.
Let's read it.
Yeah, and this person right here
Sacred
is a soldier.
Sacred to the memory of Thomas Hans Talbot, born 19th of July, 1771, at Castle Malahide in County Fingal, near Dublin, Ireland. A younger son of Sir Richard Talbot and Lady Margaret O'Reilly. At age 11, his family purchased a military commission for him in the 66th Regiment. In 1787, he was made an aide-de-camp to the Marquis of Buckingham,
Became lieutenant governor.
Lieutenant of Ireland. In 1790, he joined his regiment, the 24th, at Quebec. Like I told you, there's a diocese, because there was no diocese in Ontario at that time. So the church over there went to the diocese, the Catholic Diocese of Quebec. In 1791, he became the aide to Lieutenant Governor Colonel John Graves Simcoe, the first Lieutenant Governor of Upper Canada, accompanying him on his trip through the Western District. Talbot obtained his captaincy in 1793, his majority in 1795, and his colonelcy in the 5th Regiment of Foot in 1796. 1799, he fought with his men in Holland against the French. On Christmas Day, 1800, he sold his commission and left the army. 1801, he returned to Canada to farm, wanting a larger grant, returned to England. In 1803, he received a grant of 5,000 acres in Dunwich to settle immigrants on for each 50 acres. Wow. Wow. Just, wow.
Yeah.
That's all I could say is just wow.
Yeah, so
we're on Colonel Talbot's resting place.
yeah, so this is his spot. He fought in that's a plaque that sort of commemorates the soldiers from 1812. So as you can see, kind of, yeah, this is basically the end of the cemetery here.
Elgin Historical Society. Like, look at this. Oh my gosh. Holy gosh. Like, holy God.
And it kind of reminds me, um, yeah, so it is kind of the style there. Yeah, so that's kind of it for this ghost town tour. It is Tyrconnell. Like I mentioned earlier, it was established in 1809. We've some of the first mills that were built uh, just kind of happened during its history. First church was built in the 1820s, along with the cemetery there. So there was a lot of prominent people for this era. That being said, uh,
Here's a heart.
yeah, that being said, it unfortunately met the same fate like Indiana, Ontario in Cayuga, where the placement of the rails kind of sent this place in a decline. But it's a nice area, it's peaceful. There's a couple soldiers from 1812 buried here, as well as one soldier from World War One. So that kind of gives you sort of an idea uh, who was living here at the time. So yeah, this is unofficially Lewis, so I'm signing off. If you like what you see, please subscribe, like, follow, comment. If there's any other places you think I need to look for, such as ghost towns, by all means, let me know. I wouldn't mind checking them out. Or if there's a cemetery you think I need to look for, let me know. I wouldn't mind doing this again. Have a good one.
Here goes a car. Like, over here, maybe
I hear another car.
taking care of your young.
Should we go?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Anyways,
Where you want 'em.
thank you.